In Chapter 16B of Thracia 776, we enter the quote-unquote Mirage Forest, named as such because travelers who enter have a history of vanishing and never returning. This is possibly because it is home to magical teleport tiles, but it is more likely because it is the base of operations of a murderous cult to the Dark God Loptus. This map is filled with forest tiles that restrict your movement and magical teleport tiles that move you all over the place, but fortunately the placement of these teleport tiles is static, so they're not a problem if you look up where they are. More importantly, the boss has a berserk staff that can inflict permanent berserk status on your units. The boss uses this staff at random intervals, putting you on a timer if you want to obtain this item for yourself. As the map begins, the cleric Sarah will teleport near a starting area and you can recruit her by talking to her relief. Enemy dark mages approach me through the forest, moving away from the boss, so I drop Ocean near him to try to capture him. As I do so, they all use their rewarp staff to teleport back to the center. Fortunately, Ocean and Rhoda manage to clear the entire group. The boss uses the berserk staff several times. I counter them with the restore staff I got last chapter. As he does that, I try to capture the boss with Dean, but it's hard to do reliably. I stack support bonuses from Lenoan and Ada, giving him plus 30 hit and crit, but still not enough. I use cancel to use hit and run attacks repeatedly to avoid being killed on enemy phase, and eventually Dean managed to get a double crit, but still fails to capture the boss, leaving him on 1 HP. Fortunately, I'm able to secure it immediately after with Ocean, getting a one-use berserk staff for future shenanigans. I send Leaf into the castle in the center, allowing me to recruit Miranda, who is a mediocre low-level mage whose utility is questionable. There's also a third recruitment on this map, Shannon, who is an imposter posing as a prince, but I cannot recruit him since I did not recruit Homer in chapter 14 because Nana is dead. Regardless, with the boss defeated and the enemies taken care of, I can now focus my attention on capturing enemies that have valuable loot. Fortunately, most of these enemies have their movement heavily restricted by the terrain, allowing me to repeatedly make hit and run capture attempts with Dean in relative safety. I managed to obtain a large variety of excellent loot, including a master bow, master sword, wind sword, another Vouge, and a Luna manual. The real prize of this chapter is the sleep sword, a special weapon that can put enemies to sleep, and this is especially important because it's one of the best ways to get Xavier in chapter 18 through one of the most complicated and frustrating recruitments in the entire series. With all this loot in hand, I slowly charge everyone to the exit in the upper right to escape, but unfortunately my progress is repeatedly slowed by teleport tiles, which only now become relevant by wasting my time when the map is already done.